Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Vox Jed Fight About It. And today we're talking about Minecraft. We're doing our 4th or 5th themed episode today, and it's about Minecraft.
Fuck yeah, Minecraft! Fuck yeah, Minecraft!
Holy shit.
Minecraft, fuck yeah! Sorry, I got really excited about
Fuck
this
yeah,
week's theme.
Minecraft.
You were saying?
It's pretty exciting. It's a pretty fucking exciting thing. We've had a lot of Minecraft news lately.
Yeah, dude.
With like the movie, and we had just had like a really good Minecraft live, and we're gonna talk about all of that today. Which actually, thank fuck, because we were gonna record this episode last week, but we were decided that, oh yeah, we'll wait until after the Minecraft live, and holy shit, I have so much more to say now.
Dude, I have so much to say about Minecraft. I have so goddamn much. Yeah. I had a lot before, and now I have more things to say about recent Minecraft. Okay, so as a Minecraft content creator, which I guess I am, I care a lot about this video game and have for a very long time. And so like I keep up with this stuff religiously, man. I really keep a good eye on it and make sure that like all my knowledge is accounted for. But starting on Minecraft, I think that we should probably start with the spring drop that they did, because that's the thing that goes back the farthest. That's the thing that goes back the farthest out of everything that I have, because we've been seeing snapshots for this for months and months. This is not breaking news, but it will transition nicely. And so Minecraft's spring drop is called Spring to Life, and it's a very good quality of life update, I think. It adds a lot of like very naturey things, very aesthetic things, just things that improve the look of the game. It makes it nicer to walk around a raw Minecraft world. You know, it makes it a little bit more appealing. So yeah, no, I really like this drop. And I want to go feature by feature with you, and we'll talk about it, because there aren't many, but we'll talk about it. I think we'll have a lot to say about some of these features. But yeah, let's do that. I've got the website here, if I may.
Yeah, roll it right in here. We'll follow the website.
Our first thing, mob variants: wolves, sheep, chickens, cows, all of them. Pigs, all of those specifically. Those get, well, not sheep. Actually, sheep don't get a variant. They almost got a variant.
Well,
they don't get a variant.
They kind of get variants, but
They backed out that sheep thing, and then they brought it back. I forgot. Right. Fuck.
Yeah, they brought back the like different
and then they did
colors.
It again. Yeah, the different colors spawning in different biomes. I quite like this, I think.
I like it a lot.
I think I agree. I saw someone make this point before. Oh, let me get that out of there. That's playing hell with the green screen, I bet. Oh, no, I could fix it. I could fix it in post.
Wow,
I wouldn't worry about it. There's a lot of green on this website. I'll cover it in post. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
But the thing about it, these mob variants, is that they're too much and they're too little, I feel. For like, if they were planning on changing the functionality, I would say they did too little. And if they were planning on just making regional variants, I'd say they did probably just a little bit too much. But I don't know. It feels weird for them to change the model, but not like change how they work or like sound or act at all. You know?
Well, the wolves have new sounds. I saw that. But
they don't have new models. They're all just retextures.
Yeah, the wolves are just retextures. I wish that they did a little bit more like they did with the longhorn cow. I wish that like each variant had a little bit more physically different on the models, but I actually I like where it's at right now. I think it was a good amount of change, and I think it was a welcome change too.
Yeah, I'm generally pretty happy with it. I just sort of agreed with that minor criticism that I saw, and so like I wanted to be like clear about that like, oh yeah, you know, it's a whole thing where like everybody wants to complain about something, and so like, and I have a show we have a show even where we just talk about shit, and so you gotta have something to say about it, and that's the only thing I could really muster to say about this. I think it's a pretty good addition. I just think it's a pretty bland one. I think it's been a long time coming, and it's a good addition to the game, and it makes the world a little bit more vibrant. But it's like, this was a long time coming. This was gonna happen at some point. You know?
Yeah. I think the only thing that I can really say about it is that I like it. I like the new models at least. However, it makes all the old models look a little bit funky because there's a very clear delineation between this is, maybe I don't know if it's Notch who did the texture work, but this is Minecraft texture work and this is Mojang texture work, and you could very clearly tell the difference.
Like they definitely like
my only issue.
And they've brought most of the game's textures up in line with that, but there are still some blind spots. They tried to update the models a little bit, and they did update the textures a little bit, and they brought them in line a little bit, but they still look too reminiscent of those old models that like my brain just automatically downgrades them pretty much back to just what they did look like before in my head somehow. And it's a real problem for me. It's gonna make an adjustment. We're gonna be fine. There will be an adjustment on that at some point. I'm sure I'll get used to it. It's just a matter of getting used to it, But that's the thing with new features.
It's just a little funky.
I'm happy to have them regardless. And then what else? Spawn eggs, right. Spawn eggs.
Yeah.
They changed all the spawn eggs in the game. You can see them here on screen. They've changed them all to be, each of them is like more representative of the mob they are, so you don't have to worry, like, is this white and black or white and gray egg I'm about to spawn a ghast? Or is it a breeze? Or is it a skeleton? Or is it a bogged? Yeah. Or is it like a phantom? Like, what is this thing? What is this like white and gray thing? Or a chicken? What am I about to unleash upon the world by hitting on this egg without looking at the title? Who fucking knows? So it's just a grid of a bunch of spotted colored eggs that are all the same 3 colors. So it's impossible to tell.
Yeah. I think this update is pretty good. I am almost a little bit upset about it because I'm so nostalgic for the old egg textures. I was a very I'm a child who plays solely in creative mode in Minecraft. So like the spawn eggs mean a lot to me personally, but I think I'm one of the few people.
No, and I agree. Overall, I have a lot of nostalgia for the old ones for those same like fucking around in creative mode reasons as a kid. But like, I don't know. I just think these are just an objectively more usable design.
Absolutely.
And like, I like some of these. I think they're very funny. I think they're very quirky in a very Minecraft way, and I like that. You know?
Yeah, let's put a fucking like a horse snout on the egg. Like, I think it's very cute. I think I'm glad they went this way instead of a lamer route by like, just changing it to be more recognizable as the mob, but not these like interesting, let's just put features of the mobs onto the eggs.
Yeah.
I really like it. I like their design. And that's...
But moving on, we've got ambient features such as falling leaves. Dude, falling fucking leaves. Oh, love that. I love that this is a very ambience-focused update. I'm very glad that this is primarily focused on, and it seems like we'll get into it when we get to the Minecraft Live talk, and talking about what they plan on adding, the stuff they plan on adding in the future. But it seems like they're really trying to push to make Minecraft updated, like make the little things in Minecraft updated. Like, it's a Minecraft update, of course they're updating stuff, but they're not like overhauling the terrain generation or redoing the entire nether. They're making sure that the fallen trees that are in Bedrock Edition appear properly in the Java Edition terrain gen, where they've been like broken since they were added,
Yeah.
So I'm glad we got that back. I'm glad
they're doing that.
Jed, you gotta get better filming these silences, man. I have to look over at my second monitor really and be so far away from my mic to like comment on these. But what were you saying?
Really trying. But the falling leaves and all this, I think that all of this is a really good, I don't know if it's symptom, but this is showing that Minecraft updates are allowed to be smaller now. They aren't doing the like big ass. It needs to be a whole nether overhaul to be an update, which was a big criticism that they had rolled back recently. I'm glad to see it in action, of them actually trying to make things better instead of just add new things. And this update is just by far a very good representation of what I want to see more of, is just little updates like this.
Yeah. Like, I've been using things like Visuality and other smaller mods that do more individualized things like this, with like falling leaves and like the cactus flower thing they're doing, and the whispers of sand that happen that are also mentioned. Those are all like listed under this ambient feature, and like the extra wildflowers and stuff, and the leaf litter, like those sorts of things. Those all are things that I've usually used like vanilla friendly mods for pretty much in every playthrough, at least for falling leaves. At least for like the particle effect stuff. I always have like those on, and it's good to have a vanilla version of those, so I can just, that's like a couple less mods that I need to put in next time I want to fucking like soup up my game to be the best possible like visual experience for me. You know, that's one less thing that I have to do. And I appreciate that. And I like these features. I think they're a very good quality of life. I'm not sure how I feel about the individual leaf particles yet, and I'm not sure how I feel about the fact that not all trees do it. Like, some tree types just don't do it, where it wouldn't make sense for them to. Weird. So, like, I understand that, but, like, they've been a little selective about it, is all. But, you know, I digress. I think it's a fine feature set. What do you think, Jed? You got any, like, closing thoughts on this one?
My only closing thoughts are, this is just something that an indie developer would have added much sooner, somebody who is less worried about deadlines. And so I'm glad that now they've cut their deadline thing, they're actually doing it. That was the one thing I was afraid of, was that they would cut their deadlines, but still try to do the big updates. So I'm very happy to see it.
I want to be clear, the official stance of the show is fuck Notch and that shit that he tweeted like a decade ago. This is just like, you just went, earlier you went, but I don't think that's something Notch would have added, and then moved on very fast, and then went, but I think a singular solo indie developer would have put this in a little sooner. And I was like, I don't want people to think we're cozying up to a Nazi here. Can we not?
No, definitely not.
Very explicitly clear. That's the man
definitely
who, like,
not saying
not
it
only
about
somebody
Notch.
with terrible beliefs, not only somebody with like a terrible set of beliefs, but also a guy with a terrible set of beliefs about game design, because he, like, at one point considered making torches, like, go out over time. So, you know,
might I say, though,
take it or leave
if Notch had this game would be fucking dead in a ditch and be gone forever. I just mentioned indie developers because I've been playing a lot of indie games lately where they just put out updates like every
This is the kind of thing. This is the kind of thing that, like, one guy would just, like, as like a surprise, it's the middle of a random Thursday, here's falling leaf particles, I guess, have that. You know, like that and leaf litter. You can have those. It was 2 seconds to put in. Here you go. And yeah, I agree. But like, you know, we all know why
definitely
they take
good
fucking forever to add shit. But it definitely feels good to be back to those sort of like more homely features that like an indie dev would put in this game if like one guy was in charge of making Minecraft again for some reason, you know? Yeah, that definitely feels like that would be the case.
Something not so big picture.
But moving on.
But that's all I have to say about the ambient features.
A little further to, ooh, that's a very nice picture. Do you want to talk about? Oh, we didn't talk about these over here. The firefly bushes and the regular bushes too. The like non-firefly
I have not seen
variants.
anything about them.
I've seen them in game. They're so pretty, and they're like they spawn by pretty much every body of water. Like they're like a waterborne thing.
Nice.
They spawn like on shorelines at random, like by rivers. They say
that's so nice.
Like, but I've seen them on the edge of oceans too. So like any small body of water will probably have one.
That actually really reminds me of Vintage Story. Vintage Story did a really good job of populating their biomes to be like, yes, on the water side, you're going to see a lot of brush because that's how water sides work in real life. And I didn't know that was something we were missing from Minecraft, but I like it a lot. Especially to like nice break up the harsh block change. But yeah, those are nice. Do they feed the frogs like they were saying they would with the fireflies originally? No.
Did you miss that whole thing? Were you just in a cave for the 3 months while that whole thing was going on?
Yeah, I think so.
Because what happened was they announced. Let me run you through it, Jed. They announced fireflies, right? And they announced that frogs will eat them, and that'll make frog light. And then Mojang, on their own, due to very minimal feedback, realized, hey, that's harmful to like real life frogs to eat real life fireflies. We don't want somebody we don't want some kid out there feeding their pet frog a firefly. And I feel like that's kind of a stupid reason, like as an adult who plays this game. But like on the other hand, again, I've seen kids do stupid shit like that genuinely because it's in Minecraft before. So it's good that this game like has like I hold the opinion that it's good that this game that is like the most popular game barring like Fortnite right now, I think. It's like one of the most popular games in the world for adolescents and children, and I'm glad that it's got somebody like Mojang to like steward it along to ensure that like our kids, like even in the smallest way possible, our kids walking away with the right life lessons out of this like sandbox video game that has no story to deliver those lessons, you know? Like, are we doing this in such a way that they're gonna get what they want out of it, and not only have fun, but like also like know that like not endanger anybody because they think that like parrots are allowed to have a cookie, you know? Shit like that. And so they took away the fireflies and they were like, we'll come back to the fireflies as an idea, but like not right now. And then they put it aside for like 3 updates. Everybody thought they just decided not to. Like, they just canned it behind the scenes after that, and nobody thought about it. And then they announced these, and I'm so happy they did. They announced Leaf Litter, and then they announced that Leaf Litter was like a predecessor to... They're trying to do more ambient mobs, they said, on live. They said in the live that they want to do more ambient mobs, and I think this was last live even, or maybe something like that. Because they had announced Falling Leaves at that point, and they were in the snapshots at that point last year, I believe. And so, like, they were able to talk about it at some point between that getting added and now, that like, yes, no, we want to mess around with particles more. We're excited to play with particles more. And we even want to see if we can get some sort of like return to the Firefly idea, not Firefly specifically, but the idea of like a particle based mob, you know, like an entity that isn't an entity, but a particle, like a set of particles. And they have done that. They've achieved that now, which is great. That they figured that out, but they announced that like the Falling Leaves were like a precursor to that, trying to get like a moving set of particles that like can be like manipulated in that way. And right now it has to be tied to a block, it seems, based on the fact that the fireflies stay around their firefly bush, and like the Falling Leaves only come off of like placed leaf blocks. But I think it's good that they're making some good headway on some innovative features that I feel like if they master particles and make it like a less lag intensive like thing to have a bunch of particles on your screen in this game, I would absolutely love to see them add all the particle shit they want and just throw it on like that's what happens on the highest graphics settings. I also like that we have versions of these bushes without fireflies for aesthetic reasons. I like that we have them with them without.
I also like that as well. Yeah,
I think I like that
they've given you a lot of options.
Source too. They're a very small light source, but they are a light source, so it's good.
That is very nice, especially with that update where they moved it to like 0 means that they have to spawn, so that gives you a lot more ways to spawn-proof places without torches. And I like that. That's always a good feature.
And then we have this like villager map update thing, which I'm a little unclear on, but basically, they've made it so that like I don't know, maybe this blurb says more about it here, but I'm not going to read it that particularly. But what they said on the live stream about it was, when they explained it there, was that villagers will now have like more maps that go to structures, and now they have maps that go to different village types. So if you get a sand village and you're like, fuck, the sand librarian isn't going to have the mending book, I need the swamp librarian, go to your sand cartographer. He'll sell you like a map to a different village type. I don't remember which specific one the desert ones have. But you go to the desert cartographer, you can buy a village map that will get you to a different village type, and eventually you could just keep going to different cartographers. So you have to
cycle all the way around, possibly, where it's like, well, desert takes you to forest, and then forest takes you to savannah, and then savannah takes you to jungle.
Have like this one can take you to these 2 biomes, this one can take you to these 2 biomes. So it's not a flat circle. It's like a big like web.
I thought it was a flat circle where you could end up in like I'm on the opposite side of swamp, dude.
But that fixes just about every problem I had with cartographers. And like the system of like changing up the trades, because they're like, oh, you got cartographers. Cartographers will help you find new biomes by finding new structures. Like if you're looking for a jungle temple, you'll probably find a jungle, and thus you'll probably find like a fucking jungle village, and like all of that together is like yeah, sure, but that's not really like a guarantee. That's like far from a guarantee, actually. So this like them selling village maps is much more beneficial in my opinion. I very much like that as a solution to this particular problem that they've invented here. And now it's not a problem at all, and I like both of those features. I think the trade variety and stuff is good,
The trade variety makes me a little bit upset as a motherfucker who would sometimes choose to, rather than even like playing the rest of the game, just focus in on villager trading and get everything you would ever want. So as my greedy son of a bitch that I am, I don't like it as much, but I do like it overall. I'm okay with the change because I know that they're trying to get people like me to be less like me, which is fine. I can always play different versions, which is the best part about Minecraft, is that if you don't like an update, don't fucking play it.
Yeah, the process is less grindy now, I fear, than it was before. I feel like...
Oh, it is, definitely.
I feel like you're like... I feel like 99% of the trouble with villagers... Well, 80% of the trouble with villagers is getting the trade you want. Like, re-rolling until you get the right trade. The other 20% is moving them. Now the entire problem is moving them. Because the other... Like, that's like 90% moving them now, and 10% finding a swamp village. By using cartographers. So it's not a hard thing to do, really. It's not... I feel like it's made it easier. I feel like I would much rather than just having a completely, like, one in however many enchantment books perfectly balanced odd of getting an mending book, and maybe sitting there for a second, or maybe sitting there for 2 hours, like, clicking it on and off to see if they fucking take it, and get a mending trade for it, too, no less. But, like, I feel like I would much rather than do that, go to, like, a beach cartographer and get his shit, or, like, a desert cartographer, get his shit, and then take it where he goes, and go all the way around the web until I get to, like, a fucking swamp village. Get a mending book immediately. Because I feel like it just makes it... It's less RNG based. It makes this less of, like, a random chance system, and more of a, if you know what you're fucking doing and have the resources, you can make this happen.
Yeah, it's just it encourages exploration, which is what I think they were trying to do for most of this update. Is just like encourage seeing more of the world instead of just getting locked into your own little like base.
Not only more beneficial for you, but like more for not only making it more beneficial for the people who like to explore, but making exploring more incentivized as well. I like that those are like hand in hand recently of like, yeah, we want people to like get out of their base a little more often. Let's give them some stuff to go do that. Oh, speaking of, back on leaf litter for a second. You know what I like? That falls from any leaf block of a type that supports it. Meaning, you're not going to have to go a million goddamn blocks out if you have an older world that you're porting up to this version. That shit'll fall from the leaves in the forest at home, dude. All the forests are going to look like the new forests pretty soon. So that's going to be great. I can't wait for that little detail, because like that is great. I love when that sort of stuff happens. But I think that's just about everything. There was one more small addition that I want to talk about, and that's the fact that they've made camels just spawn as a wandering thing in the desert now, and not just at desert villages. So you can just find them now. So cool. Thank Christ, that's how they should have been to begin with.
Yeah.
I think they just like kind of like were trying to soft launch the camel. I thought they were just trying to soft launch the camel, but then they never changed it until now. So I think it was like the way they wanted it, and now they've realized. But that was the update. Overall, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I think it's a step in the right direction. I think these smaller like drop updates are much better than like full scale updates. I dig them a whole lot more. I dig them a whole lot more. But what do you think, Jed? What are your opinions on this update so far?
I think,
or like as it stands.
I said a lot of this already during the ambient section, but the fact that they're working on the small things of other biomes instead of just big chunks of biomes, is genuinely just the best, honestly. Because there are so many things in Minecraft where it's like, I walk through and I go into a deep dark and I'm like, whoa, this is really cool. And then I go back up and I'm in a Plains biome and I'm back in 2012 because it's like the exact same that it's been for like well over a decade because it's a Plains biome. And why would they update something that's already fine? So I'm glad that aesthetically they're kind of unifying it to be more of their now I would say is more of their Mojang style.
Right.
And I like it. I definitely like this update. I don't think it's a anything to write home about really, but I think it's a lot of little things that all add up to one big thing to write home about.
Thanks.
And I think I took that from you.
Yeah, you just stole that from me. That was outright something I said before we did the show, and I was like, I think that's going to be my overall point about this episode. But I do want to show you. Minecraft Live. Let's talk about this Minecraft Live, man. So they announced that the update we were just talking about would come out on the 25th. That Minecraft Live, that's beautiful. Everybody expected that. And we're like, please just give us an update on when, like, please give us a date on the update. We're already in pre-release candidates. We know it's coming. Pass it over. Come on. And so they did. But the thing about that was they released it like a couple days later. And the problem with that is they also talked mostly about the new stuff they're adding in the next drop for the summer, which is only in like a month or two. Like, because usually when they do summer drops, they do end of June, early July. I find, weirdly enough, that's usually when like a Minecraft update will release, is somewhere in that gap, which is great 'cause it's right there by my birthday, so I get like an update for my birthday. But I get a year older. Minecraft gets a little more mature with me. Great. But the thing I was saying was, they got me excited about the new features. And usually that's fine.
Way more
that's an okay gambit. That's an okay gambit for them to pull usually. Because the new features, when they do back when they used to do big updates and one Minecraft Live a year, would be a year away. Or at least 6 months away. So it's like, I don't care about that. That's next fucking year sometime. I'm hyped for it. But I'm not gonna like yearn for it in that time. It's fucking far too long to want it, you know? So I'm just gonna wait and put it out of my mind, and then it'll be here when it's here. And that'll be great. And then I'll have my 2-week Minecraft phase then. I fear we're gonna run into the extended 2-week Minecraft phase this time, where everybody starts playing because they're hype about these features, but the new update's also out. But because they're hype about these features and they come out in only like a month or two, I feel like 2 weeks from now when people start to get bored of the game, it's going to be like, come on, the new update's right around the corner, come on. And they'll get back into it. I feel like it's not going to be a hard sell to make sort of a, like, I feel like, and I don't mean for us locally, I don't mean that like we're going to have a long one in particular. I just mean that I feel like the world as a whole, like I feel like the Minecraft community at large is about to be hit with a big 2-week phase, you know, maybe a 4-week phase potentially. But they announced a bunch of features. It got us excited. Oh boy. And I'm ready to run through them. Do you want to? Yeah, let's I got them written down. They only announced like 3 things for this game in that time, really. Which was weird. So the things they announced were, first things first, I want to talk about Happy Guests. Because it's right on the screen. Okay. Right up front. It was the thumbnail of the Minecraft Live. I put the thumbnail of the Minecraft Live on screen just so that we could see it. And just so we could have it up while we're talking about it. And the Happy Guests, dude, the minute I saw these, they aired this very, very, like, at like 1 p.m. and I've been getting up late recently. Sue me. So I woke up and my husband was rolled over asleep because he'd been working the previous day. And I'm on my phone and I'm watching the live event and I'm trying to do it kind of quietly so that I don't wake him. But, like, the Happy Guest came on screen, and I genuinely could not contain, like, my pure delight at seeing these guys. Because they showed the little squiggly little baby guy on the left that I'm kind of blocking here. And then they showed him, and they stayed on him for just long enough for me to not get bored of him, and not be, like, audibly excited about him anymore, and just be regular excited about him. And then they announced that you could take him home, put him in water, and he will flesh out into a happy ghast who's just like a little thing, like half the scale of the player, that just floats around and is happy, and it just like lives.
Yeah,
that's all it does. It just lives in the world, and it exists, and it's great. And that was enough for me. But I knew immediately that they were gonna make them rideable, because why the hell wouldn't they be rideable? They're big as shit. You know, it was pretty obvious where they were going with that. And so then they did the big happy ghast. His name is a happy ghast, and I think that's like some lesser games would have called him, and lesser games includes Minecraft circa 2012, would have just called him like the good ghast, or like the pet ghast. But no, he's the happy ghast because he's happy. He's a happy little guy. He's his own
he is
his own little agent. He comes with a big old saddle that's craftable. He's craftable, actually, which is stupid. I saw that. Be,
I thought that was stupid.
You should not be able to create life, I feel. I feel like that should be like a hard line on the crafting recipes. But I digress. This is really cool. I think it's a really cool addition. It's probably shot the gas up from my least favorite my least favorite mob to my most favorite mob, because they're solid now. The big ones that are adults, you could stand on their backs and fucking build off it like scaffolding. I love that. They take up to 4 players at a time. Just a beautiful feature. Just a great feature. Love it. Absolutely perfect. Adds a lot of lore to the game. Adds a lot of functionality to the game. And overall, it's just another little scrunkly little scrimblow in the video game. And I can never have enough little guys in my Minecraft, alright? The armadillos, the sniffers, the happy guys, all of them. But these ones in particular. These guys are going to be my happy guy, dude. I've like... The moment I locked eyes on that thing, I knew I had to have one the minute I could get one. You know? The day that snapshot comes out, you better not ask me for a goddamned thing. I will be playing Minecraft and farming the fuck out of these guys so that I have as many as I need for the rest of my life. Dude.
Yeah. So, like, the funny thing is that I got really into... Not even really into. I knew about the Minecraft lore enough at this point where I was like, I really liked the ghasts because I knew they came from the overworld, and I knew they were just, like, tremendously sad, and that was just like, it was just an unfleshed out plot that was there, so I always kind of
but now you can save them, and that's resolved.
Yeah, and now I could do something about it, and I can adopt all the little ones. I wish you could like bring the sad ghasts to the overworld, getting the like
uneasy alliance achievement should, like, you should be able to get that achievement, feed it a snowball, and make it a happy ghast. There's no reason that shouldn't be an option. Just for one simple reason, and that's because it's like infinitely harder than just going and getting a baby one. If you go get a baby one, you can put it in water and it can be an adult within 20 minutes. You could just force feed it snowballs until it grows up, and it only takes like 5 minutes, I think they said, to do that. It's like 15 minutes in the water for them to sprout, and then after that, it's like 5 minutes for them to grow up. Or maybe the other way. I don't know. But one of those two things is true. And that's only 20 minutes. That's not a lot of time. Whereas, like, if you've ever gotten the Uneasy Alliance achievement, you know that is a bitch and a half to keep a ghast tracked on you, but not hitting you for long enough to get it all the way back through a big enough portal that you probably would have to specially build for that occasion, unless you just have a big portal lying around. And then fucking drag it through. And then, presumably, you've set this portal up in the wild somewhere where it wouldn't hurt anything. Because if you haven't gone to that, like, tremendous extra trouble, you're fucked. You better kill that thing quick, dude. Granted, it only takes, like, 2 arrow shots, but there's no way it doesn't blow some of your shit up first, you know?
Yeah. Well, and the thing about the Uneasy Alliance now is that you have to kill him after getting him over to the overworld. And, like, you've always had to kill him once he was in the overworld.
Oh, do you have to kill him for the achievement? Like, I've always just kind of killed him just because kill him. You know?
Yeah, you have to kill him for the achievement. That's why it's an Uneasy Alliance. And it's sad, man. Let him live.
Yeah.
Let him exist in the overworld.
Exactly.
Even if it was just like he was neutral to you on the overworld and he wasn't your pet until like you tame him with a snowball. I would like
even
the
that would
ability
be great.
to like
just like
save gas.
I'd like to add an addendum. I'd like to add a second reason actually to my reasons why that should work that way. Every other, you've made it so like 3 out of the other Nether mobs like become a different mob when they're in the overworld.
Yeah.
I don't see why this one has to be any different. Come on, just give the people what they want. Let us save them. It's not enough to be able to save the babies. I need to save them all, dude.
Yeah, and the babies are so sad. We didn't talk about how they spawn. They're dried up little guys are next to other gas skeletons. So the idea
no, we didn't
is
discuss
that
this really. There he is right there. I was blocking him a little bit. I made
their
him smaller
mom
so you can see him better.
Fucking died, and they're just laying next to their mom waiting, and they just dry out. And then
is it weird that I never put 2 and 2
assumedly-
together that the fossils in the Nether are supposed to be big fucking gassed rib cages?
I didn't
Is that
put
weird
2
that I
and 2
never put that together?
Because
The big square rib cage probably belongs to the big square thing.
Yeah. I also didn't realize that. I guess what else would it be? Because there's nothing of that caliber other than like an Elder Guardian, but why would there be Elder Guardians?
Genuinely pretty obvious when I think about it, but like I've never really thought about those bone pieces as more than just an aesthetic detail of the biome, you know?
Yeah, same. One of those just like, yeah, it's there. What about it? But oh man, it's just so sad because then you find their little dried up.
Sad, yeah.
When I saw them the first time, I was like, "Oh, they added seals to Minecraft."
He does look like
remarkably like a baby seal.
Baby seal, yeah. He does look like that.
Yeah,
and that's what I was thinking immediately too. And I think that's what most people thought because I went on Twitter and saw it immediately as well. But I expect to see these on like beach builds sometime soon, or like port town builds sometime soon. It'll make me very sad to see the baby ones unwatered as decorations, but they will work very well that way.
Yeah. Yeah, poor little guys do not deserve it. But,
they don't deserve it, but man, would they look pretty in that position. Alright.
It makes me wonder their origin. Oh, wow. It makes me wonder their origins, though, for Nether.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
How the hell did they get there? What the fuck happened?
Yeah, and like you had sent me like one of those meme videos of that fucking Monsters versus Aliens clip where they're like force feeding the blob guy something. You had sent me one of those about them force feeding. Yeah, them like piglins force feeding baby gas like lava.
Oh no, that is
and
what
that's
it is.
Why they are
the piglins have them like enslaved.
Is it
or
really?
Whatever. Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay.
Because, like, they're in, like, a bunch of, like, they're like that in, like, dungeons and in, like, the movie marketing, too, looks like, where they're, like, riding nether ghasts that are, like, strapped in with, like, chains and shit. Yeah. I think they're just, like, they've just been breeding them, and so there are wild ones in there, too, that just they can't survive in that environment. But, yeah, that makes, that makes a lot of sense to me, at least, but that's still kind of an up-in-the-air question on, like, an official answer, because that's not, like, 100%, that's just, like, anecdotal evidence, but who's to say? Yeah. I like the Happy Ghast. I think the Happy Ghast is not a super, like, insanely useful addition in terms of, like, raw usability, other than the fact that it's air transport that can move 4 people at a time, which I guess is useful, because coordinating elytra flight at full speed is kind of difficult. Like, it's kind of difficult not to lose each other doing that. So, like, this is slower, but this will be nice. I was just thinking about that aircraft mod we used to use, and they kind of fly like that. Yeah! Because they sort of just fly straight in the direction you send them in, with, like, a little bit of downward to them that you have to keep up with. And at least that's how it appears in the trailers. And so I'm hoping that it'll be similar to those, because those were really fun to fly, even if they were, like, kind of cumbersome and slow a little bit.
Because, like, in that mod, you could also get, like, planes that were much faster, but the blimps, you would focus on the blimps a lot because they had more, like, mobility for building and shit.
Yeah, I use the blimp a ton, and thus, like, I have a bunch of anecdotal evidence for, like, I'm gonna use the shit out of this feature, dude.
Yeah, seriously, because moving air travel, you don't realize it, but even if you do go, like, say you go 1.2 blocks a second, so, like, slightly faster than walking, you know?
It's so much, maybe not insanely quicker.
Yeah, whatever. um, it's still faster because you don't have to fucking like wave around leaves or up and over mountains.
No, you can just point
and
A,
you
point
can
B.
see more. It's great. It's so great.
Yeah, you can
and I don't
see
think
more.
it invalidates the Elytra.
No, not at all. The Elytra is like he's like the fucking biplane to this thing's fucking like aircraft carrier. This is like they're two different classes of vehicle, you know, for two different purposes.
I didn't even consider using them together because you could probably fly the gas up and get like an Elytra
like insane
launch
height
off of them,
and then get an Elytra launch off of it. The only trouble is you have to get your gas down. And because like I don't know, are they like horses where they wander and you have to lead?
I assume they wander.
I assume so, yeah.
I saw it in the live. They kind of wandered a little bit while they were doing the saddle.
The babies wander. They mentioned for sure that the babies wander. So I assume the adults do too. After they're tamed.
Yeah.
Or like once they come up tamed, yeah.
But they're such silly guys, and I think they do add a lot to the at least aesthetic of
they're a great garnish
the Nether
feature,
and the overworld.
I think they're just useful enough to not be called useless, and they're really like fun to look at. They're a fun feature that's just like has just enough usefulness to it to just be a fun feature that everybody likes, you know.
Yeah,
and I like that. I really like that. I think that's a lot of fun. And words just like I've had like you don't understand. I've had like a week to get over this. Jed knows. I've had like a week to get over this. In the meantime, dude, if we recorded this last week, I'd be screaming my head off about how cute these things are. Because Jesus Christ, they're like they're the most adorable thing in the game. The baby ones, dude. The little gaslings are so cute.
Yeah,
dude. He's such a weird little guy. And I love him. He's so chilled out.
They are very nice. I hope they follow you around. I hope you can like have seeds or something to have them follow you around.
They'll follow you until they get bored. So I assume they just kind of like they'll like interact with you until you stop interacting with them, and then they'll like leave and go find something else to occupy themselves with.
That's fun.
You probably lead them around with snowballs.
That's really fun. Yeah,
that's what they like.
Yeah,
eat. I don't know, but
that'll be a great time.
Yeah, no, that was the only actual. Weirdly enough, that was the only actual like feature I think that they showed off for this update. The only other thing that they showed off. So I remember them showing this, and then the next thing I'm about to talk about, and then ending, like going to Minecraft movie clip, and then ending. And so I was like, fuck, okay, that's it? Those were really good. Those were like fantastic, but quality over quantity, I guess, but that's it. Because they announced this, and I don't have a picture to show it, because pictures don't do it justice, man. You gotta look at the footage for that.
Mm-hmm.
They announced shaders. More specifically, they announced vibrant visuals is what they're calling it. It's like a fancy graphics option. Like above fancy and fabulous.
Yeah.
Where like it'll just make shaders happen. And you know what's great? The shadows are on the same pixel scale as the blocks. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. And so each pixel of the block texture updates and is shaded instead of like it being a smooth shader all the way around. And I think that light amount of pixelation, like I think it's just pixelated enough to look really, really stunning and fit in with Minecraft's pixelation. If it were any more or less pixelated, it would look weird. I'm glad they're working on this like pixel grid. I'm glad that they've chosen to do that. I do worry though, because they announced it for Bedrock and they've been doing shaders for Bedrock for a few years now. They announced it for Bedrock and Java, but their exact wording is it'll be coming. This feature will be coming to Bedrock in the upcoming months. And we still haven't it will be coming to Java, we just haven't figured out how to do that yet. So, it may be years before we see this feature come out, is what I heard. No. This one might be, this is the first time at least in a while, they've publicly gone, look, I don't want to overpromise you here, this might not come to Java for a while. So I fear that means we're really not gonna see it for a bit. But, that's okay,
Java
we can always...
such just a shit. Man.
I'm dead certain somebody will have a shader that perfectly emulates it up for Java within like a few weeks. Like somebody will have that once it's out for Bedrock. So like, and they can really get a good, like not just through like the 2 seconds of footage, but like actually in game, good look at it and like how it works. So before the feature comes out, I'm sure we'll get it in a timely manner due to modders. But of course, the complication there is they can't use any of like the sodium stuff. They can't use any of the iris stuff or the Optifine stuff or any of the stuff that makes shaders work, because those are all like code owned by modders, not by Mojang. So They got to do it their own way, which is gonna be tough.
Yeah,
but I think they'll get it done. I think it'll be fine. But I really like it. It looks very like this will be Minecraft in 2013 in like a good way, you know?
Yeah.
Like it looks like those far-flung
feels...
like YouTube videos where they just crank the shaders and like and everything and like let it go and just show footage and go, wow, look at Minecraft. Yes, Minecraft. This is the future of Minecraft. And like they're showing it. It's like, well, yeah, man, sure. Fucking Xbox 720, why not? But like it's real this time. It's real. And it looks like, I feel like if they implemented shaders in 2012, that's how they would have done them. Like, I feel like there's a real shift in the Minecraft aesthetic lately to a best of both worlds approach between the old and the new. Like the post 1.14 texture update stuff and the old stuff. Like, we're trying to find middle ground in like the aesthetic of the game for those so that like everybody feels included in it. And usually that's a bad thing. Usually trying to split your brand identity like that is, like, terrible, awful, icky, but frankly, it's working out pretty well. It's working out pretty well for them. I think
really well.
I think the game is looking really good for it, honestly. I'm glad we're starting to exit this, like, pastel phase of Minecraft, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where, like, all the colors
like,
have, like, a
light
blue fog, light blue fog on them. And they're, like, everything just seems a little bit washed out for some reason. Yeah. Like, I'm excited to get back to vibrant, pretty, like, heavy shadows, deep colors Minecraft.
Yeah. Can I have a hot take for a moment?
You can absolutely have a hot take for a moment. No, it doesn't. You're a liar and a charlatan.
Java as a platform, it's like building a house out of twigs.
Java as a platform is like the shittiest possible way to build a 3D video game, yes. But it's like the most ramshackle way you could have possibly done that. I feel it's part of the charm, though. I thought you meant playing the Java edition of Minecraft sucks, and I was about to say that is just objectively wrong. It is almost damn near objectively the better version in terms of its like feature set and like ability to not crash.
Yeah. However, my issue with it is that like the way that I see Java Edition is in the same way that you see like a car that runs really great, but you know its engine burns really hot, and eventually those gaskets are gonna burn out, and it's gonna blow in a spectacular way, and you're never gonna have that car again. That's how I feel about Java Edition, where I feel like we're
zeros in a computer that's literally designed to handle it. It's not like it's not diesel, like, Minecraft is not fucking diesel fumes to your computer's environment. It's practically food and exercise.
I meant more so like the developers. It is very inefficiently them having
built,
to develop for Java means that like I feel like they might hit a point at some point in time where they have a feature where they're like, I just don't know how to port this to Java, and they're either gonna can the feature or it's gonna be dumbed down for some way, or they just ruin the parity of Java. I feel like that's where we'll get at some point in time.
That is a hell of a thing to say. That is a hell of a thing to say when several features have been pushed back, dumbed down, or outright canceled because they can't run on the lowest end phone because of Bedrock Edition.
Yeah. And like that's the
like we
issue
need to talk about that actively
that
holding the game back. Because Java isn't really holding the game back. They developed for Java first. Like, this is a Java first game because it's the easier platform to just slap shit on top of.
Yeah,
like I think, and that's not my words. Those are the words of like the developers. They've said like it's just we're just used to it. We're used to the abuse of Java at this point. We can build features for it that like something about like building for Bedrock is just a pain for like the Swedish developers, and so like everybody on like the main Mojang HQ like Stockholm offices is like working on Java because that's all they do. They work on the Java branch of the game, and then the Bedrock guys over in Seattle, they figure it out. Because that was their agreement with 4J Studios a while back. Except 4J could be trusted to figure it out a lot more. I feel they took longer, granted, to get features implemented, but I feel like they did a better job of doing it.
Yeah, and like I don't know. Honestly, I agree with you that like mobile phones are definitely holding back Minecraft. But I do just fear that Java is gonna fall apart for them. And maybe it's less founded than I thought it was, because you're saying like, they actually develop for Java and they're used to it. So maybe I'm just like psyching myself over nothing. But that's how I feel about it. Because have you ever looked at a Java terminal, dude?
I have. It's nasty,
Java's
nasty,
a disaster.
Icky. I would never want to work as like an engineer, like a programmer for anything like Java at all, because Jesus Christ, that's a mess.
Yeah.
But I will say that I don't know. I agree with you, and I don't mean to come off as like somebody who hates the Bedrock Edition. I think the Bedrock Edition is passable. I think the Bedrock Edition is fine. It's Wendy's chili when I want the chili my grandma would make me as a kid. It'll pass. It'll do. It won't taste the same. I can close my eyes and pretend enough, though. If you squint your taste buds, they taste about same enough. Yeah. It's okay. They're interchangeable. Grandma made that shit out of like a generic cookbook from like the 70s anyway. So it's not like it was all that great.
I was like, that's
like
so
Java
funny.
Isn't all it's cracked up to be, is my point. But Bedrock has some real shit to address in terms of, like, the people who make that game. I would genuinely argue that, like, half the reason that Minecraft has a reputation of being, like, a buggy game is because of Bedrock Edition. And the other half is... The other half of the reason that Minecraft has that reputation is because Java runs, like, slow as shit on any computer that isn't a gaming computer.
Yeah, and even then, Java is such a finicky thing, because it's not even that it isn't a gaming computer.
It's just archaic.
Sometimes it's very specific. It decides when it wants to run well or not. Because I have an old machine that's got like a shitty AMD graphics card where like it's in the triple digits, when right now they're reaching the end of the 4 digits of their graphics cards. So they're gonna have to move away.
I don't think we're gonna have a 5-digit error. Yeah. You know what I think is gonna happen? I think they're going to simplify back down to a digit. I think we're going to get...
I think it's possible.
I think we're going to get, like, the AMD Radeon X or some shit. And then they're going to release, like, the X2 or, like, the X5 or the X10. It's going to become, like processors where it's, like, it's an Intel Core. It's not, like, an Intel fucking, like, fucking ultra power 4090. It's the fucking Intel i7 5500 or whatever. Like, they just, like, stitch a different 4-digit number, like, that you don't actually have to say, because, like, the i7 series is, like, a series of processors. So if you say it's an i7, somebody can get a roundabout of what you're doing,
Yeah.
That's
but yeah,
just
that computer
enough. I think that's where we're headed. Anyway, you were saying about your PC.
Yeah. That old PC had like, I think it was like an AMD 580 or something, and then I got this new computer that has a better processor and a better graphics card. That's the Radeon 6700 XT, I think is what it is.
Right,
but it's way better than the old one. My old computer used to run Minecraft better. I don't know why. It had a worse processor and a worse graphics card, and honestly, I think it's because of their single thread system. The fact that Minecraft can't use more than one thread of your CPU. Oh, is it not? Did they update that?
No. If you go to your settings in the latest update, there is a chunk render threads that offloads rendering chunks to, like, it disperses that load to the rest of your cores. Now, the base functionality of the game is still single thread. However, that is multi-thread. Chunk rendering is multi-thread, like, which is like a lot of the heavy lifting. Is like chunk rendering and ensuring that like chunk loading is done properly. What did you fucking clank over there? Jesus Christ. Oh my god, yourself.
My microphone stand just snapped in half. I have to hold my microphone now.
Well, hold it slightly further from your face, but just a little bit. You're about right. No need to stop and fix it. It's just like, you're fine. Enjoy holding your mic stand for an hour, dude.
Yeah, this is gonna suck.
Yeah, no, what I was saying was that, like, or what you were saying was that Minecraft runs like shit because of Java, and I agree, but they did change that, and they are working on that, and, like, that's the thing about these drops, is they also include a lot of optimizations and bug fixes as well. It allows them more time and energy to do that, and I feel like that was most of the problem, was that, like, it got so bad to the point where, like, we can't do a lot of bug fix updates in this one, because we have to overhaul the terrain gen, you know? We can't do a lot of optimizations on like how things work and how shit works because we're doing this major like overhaul update. Whereas now they do drops and they're able to like catch bugs a lot faster because they're releasing an update every like season of the year now, I guess. Or at least that's how they're doing it for these first few. I don't know, but they're doing them seasonally and they're doing them like they're able to catch bugs a lot faster. They're able to have a lot more time to devote to bug catching and bug fixing for like older bugs that are unrelated to like a theme. It's really good. It's really good, I think, the workflow that they have right now. And I feel like a lot of the Java problems are going to be addressed in that workflow, like, very soon.
Yeah, I definitely hope so. I'm incredibly excited about the update. I think the update is a very good direction with the guests and all that, but
oh my
definitely
god, you have nothing to say. You have not a goddamn thing to say that you haven't already said.
Sorry,
Jesus
this microphone
Christ.
arm has killed me. I lost my train of thought so hard. I've never seen a microphone arm do that.
Jesus Christ. I don't know. All right, I guess we'll take a pause and fix your mic arm. Hold on. We're back. Fuck, Jesus. All right.
We're back.
We've waited for Jed to, like, MacGyver his fucking mic stand back together, and now we can keep doing the last bit of the show. Or the last half of the show, rather. But those were the features they announced for the next upcoming update, and they got me really excited about it. And they got you, clearly, really excited about it.
Yeah, excited enough to fucking snap my mic arm in half.
Yeah, he's fucking snapped your mic arm in half. Yeah, I'm very excited to play the update. But, you know, and I think this drop system is fantastic. That's basically all I have to say on the update. But also at Minecraft Live, they showed a new clip of the movie. And this time they showed a clip of Jack Black walking into a village, naming the village, naming like villagers and like what they are, and explaining what a villager is, and then explaining like that like he explained what a villager is, then like showed off one of those like auto chicken like making machines that we always fucking build, except like in this art style, like we just watch Jack Black kill like a weirdly realistic chicken with fucking magma, and
that's fucking insane.
And he, as he like watches on with a grin on his face while he's doing that.
Why the fuck would they put that in the movie? What?
I don't know, but my point is, and then they go like they're like gearing up for the big fight or whatever in the movie at this point, I guess, because they walk into like a shack and he goes, "Yep, diamond armor, full set, a bunch of diamond swords, some netherite, some iron, you know, and some shields, you know, there's all this shit." And it's like, I'm convinced that the first third of this movie is gonna be Jack Black saying the names of Minecraft items.
Yeah, and like that's all the memes have been, is like fucking crafting table, flint and steel, and like everybody on the internet ever is doing that bit. For a moment, there was a split moment where I thought it was just you and I being like dumbasses and like going like flint and steel and the nether. But then I go onto TikTok and I see people doing the same shit on their like I see like a repo clip
took on TikTok. I think the break you took on TikTok where you like not the break you chose to take, but like during the ban, they removed it from the Apple Store, and Jed made like the like dumbass mistake of they took TikTok away at midnight and they brought it back at like 12:30, and in that span of time Jed already went, well, better delete the app forever and not worry about it anymore. And so for
I deleted Flappy Bird off my phone.
For the absolute, like, you can get Flappy Bird back. You know that, right? You
really?
can totally get it back. Or you could for a very long time.
Is that the bit?
No, like, people thought you couldn't. But you can't read, like, you can't go to the page. But if you go to, like, the App Store, and then you go to, like, the, like, owned apps section that, like, has, like, a big list of every app you've ever installed, it's still there, and you can hit reinstall on it. It doesn't work on, like, modern devices, mind you, but it will work if you can find something and like get an Apple account to log into it and pray to God that the Apple Store still, or not the Apple Store, the App Store still opens on that particular device. Like, hope it's not like too old. But either way, enough about fucking Flappy Bird. Minecraft.
What about my TikTok?
I think your TikTok break that you were forced to take has just put you permanently like 2-3 weeks behind me. Because I started talking about the LeBron stuff, and you had no idea what I was talking about until 3 weeks later. Like, I started sending them to you, and then you understood. But, like, it took you forever to even see one naturally on your For You page. And then I go, have you seen this Frank Heffley, like, analog horror shit that they're doing, like, as a bit on TikTok about, like, the laugher? And you were like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? No, I haven't seen that. That sounds stupid. And then you brought it up like a week later, and we're laughing at the bit. Like, you quoted one of those videos and laughed, and I went, yeah, not so fucking stupid now, is it? Like, in my own head, I was like, yeah, this was stupid to you a week and a half ago because you just weren't in touch.
I think that the LeBron James is still a you thing, because I've only seen 2 videos.
It's all my For You page, dude. If it were just a me thing, people would not be writing fucking parody songs about LeBron James.
True.
If it were a me thing, there would not be a website called LeBronify that has all of those parody songs available for streaming on it. That's all I'm saying. This thing goes way beyond me to the point where it can't possibly be just my For You page. So I have no insecurity in saying you are simply just the one guy under a rock on that one. But it's like caused like a division in our For You pages temporarily, and I don't like it. I can't say that I enjoy this. Like I feel like I took for granted the like, oh, I've seen that one before. You know, of like having seen the same like 50 TikToks that day that you did. You know.
Yeah,
with, like, minor difference.
But yeah, no, like the Flint and Steel stuff is just showing back up. And I realized that it wasn't just an us bit, and that you had gotten that bit from TikTok. And I was surprised that everybody else had the same thought that like we did, which was like, why the fuck did he say it that way?
I was already doing it before TikTok did it. I want to put it on the record. The first trailer came out. And he said some fuck shit in it. Oh, he went like, it was the I Am Steve thing, and then everybody popped off on that.
Oh,
like, this has been going on for like months and months. So I was building on the I Am Steve bit by doing like fucking other quotes from Jack Black and then everybody else. Because it wasn't the quotes at first. The first day of TikTok after the first trailer came out, not the I Am Steve one, the second trailer, the more recent trailer that came out like a few weeks ago. Once they released that trailer, and people saw it, my whole For You page was, holy fuck, that was really funny. Why was he saying that stuff that way? And then the next day, it was all fucking Flint and Steel, you know? But I have some depressing thoughts about this joke. I think this will be one of those bits that is very, very funny up until the movie comes out. When, like, I think the day before the movie comes out, maybe even 2 or 3 days before, that will start to like wane on us a little bit. Like, and pretty much every other sane person I feel will probably be on about this timeline. It'll start to wane on us right before the movie comes out. Then we go see the movie, and then we'll have a bunch of new ones that weren't in the trailers to say, and it'll be new and fresh and funny again for like another week, maybe. And then I think it'll fall off again. And I think 6 months from now, we're gonna hear somebody go Flint and Steel and go, oh. Like, I think we're gonna, like,
Jesus
I think the unfunniest motherfuckers on the planet are going to be saying Flint and Steel, the Nether, and crushing a loaf for, like, the next 6 months, and it's just gonna drive us all fucking insane.
Yeah. That's and I mean, like, that's just all TikTok memes, but...
No, that's not all of them. Like, they're fucking, like, some of them just get way too out of hand, way too fast. Like, some of them go on for months and are funny for me. Some of them go on for months and have months worth of longevity in that, like, okay, we're iterating on the bit. You know, there are levels to this shit. It's like, it's gained in complexity. And now, like, but, like, I feel like with a bit this simple that's just repeating things and quoting a thing over and over, I feel like it's going to become the same thing every other, like, quote the thing over and over, like, completely, like, ad nauseum. Like, I feel like we're going to get to that point with it. Like like every other bit in the world. You don't have to be a fucking, like, you don't have to be like a fortune teller to see that, like, repetitive bit will get old, and people who like repetitive bits and are annoying will be annoying with the repetitive bit, you know?
Yeah. Although the reason that I had brought up that, like, that's kind of a lot of TikTok memes, though, is just because of the symptom of TikTok is, like, the platform that gets reposted onto, like, Twitter and Instagram and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, it's
so I think a lot of times it's just like a back feed. Like,
like the fucking like coworkers over on IG Reels are gonna be getting that shit like late. They're probably just getting Flint and Steel, dude. They probably just got it. You know how I could tell?
Yeah.
No, they got it a few days ago.
How can you
tell? I can tell when I hear people in real life start quoting it. That's how I know it's hit like the Facebook like, Reels and shit. Is like, and that's how I know it's made the migration to all like the YouTube shorts and everything. Is that like, yeah, real world people understand this reference beyond like one or two. Yeah, no, it's reached. It's reached well beyond now. Yeah. But yeah, no, the Flint and Steel stuff is funny. The Flint and Steel stuff is funny. We got a new trailer at the end of Minecraft Live. That's what I was talking about. And honestly, the new trailer kind of convinced me of something. It convinced me that I'm gonna go see this movie and I'm gonna have a lot of fun. Like, it's going to be a really fun movie to go and see. Not that it's not gonna be like bad. I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a bad movie. I think saying you like this movie is going to be like saying you like Minecraft in 2019. I feel like that's what liking this movie is going to be like. I think I'm going to enjoy this movie a great deal. I don't think it's a good movie, though. I don't think I'll come out of it going, that was a genuinely good piece of cinema. But I will come out of it going, I like Minecraft and I had fun with the Minecraft movie. You know? Like, I feel like I'm going to come out of it with that. And that's just going to be my opinion, is that, like, you know what? It didn't need to be high art. It's allowed to be a little bit fucking stupid and cringe, because liking Minecraft in general is, like, a little bit cringe, you know? There's, like, a certain level of cringe that comes with that. Because we're shouting fucking, like, Minecraft parody lyrics like, creep up, oh man, during normal gameplay. Dude, we're not well-adjusted people. We're no better than Jack Black. We're just a little different about it. You know?
Yeah.
That's all. It's just a different fucking font with that shit. So, like, I'm sure it'll be fun. I'm sure it'll be a good little... I'm sure it'll be, an entertaining 2 hours.
I think it will be a fine 2 hours. However, I think I'm gonna like it a little bit less than you do, because I'm not to say that I'm more serious about my media than you are, but just in the way that, like, it's already kind of grating on me, and I have a hard time when I can tell that it's like, these are people trying to replicate something I enjoy.
I will not be taking you with me to see this film, in that case. If it's already beginning to grate on you, and it won't come out for another, 7 days, I will not be... Because I'll tell you what's going to happen when this movie comes out. Me and my husband are going to get in the car, go to McDonald's, and we're going to talk about this. We're going to order the McDonald's meal. We're going to sit down in the car at the theater ahead of time, eat it, go in, get popcorn. I might even buy one of the shitty, popcorn buckets.
Yeah.
Just for, a laugh. And then we'll fucking get on into the movie. And we'll have a great fucking time yucking it up the whole time. And then we're going to go home and yuck it up the whole drive home. So I don't want to bring you along if it's going to be an issue of, yeah, man, I kind of am not into this fucking shit. I'm just here because you guys are having fun. If that's the vibe, you're not
No. Definitely not. Definitely not that, because I definitely do think I will enjoy it. I just don't think it's going to be I'm never going to say to myself, man, I want to watch the Minecraft movie again. I don't think.
No.
Because,
it's going to be a one-time
Detective
experience.
Detective
Pikachu is a great
I had the
analog.
same experience. Because it was this is a fine movie.
I don't think I need to see it again, though.
Yeah, I'm very okay with where it's at now. And that's how I feel about the Minecraft movie. The way that you were saying it made it seem like you were really hyped about the Minecraft movie and it was going to be one of your favorites.
No, it's not going to be my number one movie of the year or anything, especially not this year. But
yeah,
I think I'll have a good time. I think I'll generally.
I think it is going to be a lot of fun.
I think I will allow myself to be free and not be cringe, or to be cringe and to be free and just let it take me as it comes. And if I enjoy it, I enjoy it. I'm not going to come into this thing with the expectation that it's going to be a big pile of dog shit. I will come into it with the expectation that it's going to be bad and it's going to be funny because it's bad. That's the thing about this movie that reassures me, is it's either going to be secretly good, it's either going to be a secretly really fun movie that is just a good romp back to front regardless of Minecraft, or it's going to be so fucking bad in all the best ways where it'll be an insanely fun one-time watch movie of just what the fuck is this, dude? What are we talking about? What are we doing? I feel like that's
exactly how I feel about
type of movies, and I'm perfectly willing to go into it under that assumption. But like, I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have some unironic fun with this movie, and I don't mind saying that. You know,
I think that's the issue with people, at least maybe not necessarily lately, but just in general. There are a lot of people who are like, I don't like this movie because it's a bad movie. You can enjoy a movie that's not a cinematic masterpiece. You can have fun with a movie because that's what movies are for more than anything, I would say, is like on top of being an artwork, but like there are a lot of movies that are just put out.
It was entertainment. Before this thing was art, it was spend a nickel, waste 2 hours in the 20s. That's what this was. Or not waste 2 hours, they're like 6 minutes at that time. They've fucking ballooned since then to 2-hour adventures. But like, I still think that's what a movie-going experience should be, is like, it should be special. Yeah. The theater is like a very special place to me, and I have like a big like love of going to a theater and sitting down and watching like a movie like on like a theater screen and like in the optimal conditions to see it, you know. I like to get my popcorn, I like to get a big drink, maybe some candy, have the whole experience, you know, at the theater. But you know, they should still be places where you could take the kids for an afternoon and just waste a couple hours. Fuck it if the movie's bad, I don't care. You know, $7 to get in for 2 hours of entertainment. That's fine, you know?
I think that one of the best movie experiences I've ever had was seeing, I forget what it's called. Is it called Into the Spider-Verse or something? It's the second one.
The second one was Across the Spider-Verse, and I'm glad this is an experience we share, because this is one that happened on my wedding trip, because it happened to coincide with that release. And I loved seeing that as a group. That was really fun.
Because we had all gone there together, we had all gotten our popcorn, we were all sitting, and we took up like half of a row, and we all had a good time, and then we left, and we walked out, and we talked about it, and I think that's the best movie-going experience. If you're not enjoying it for the art of it,
though. It wasn't like an empty theater, but it was empty enough, and like everybody was spread out from us enough that we could kind of whisper at each other throughout the movie and not be a nuisance, and that's always nice.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that is the best movie-going experience, and that's why the Minecraft movie is going to be a good time, is not necessarily because of the movie as much as the experience of going to it, and I think it's a good vehicle to have friends, you know, be together at a movie theater. I kind of lost the plot of that thought towards the end of it.
Yeah, it'll be a good way to waste an afternoon. It's gonna become like not necessarily like a Barbenheimer. It's like a half Barbenheimer, where it's like nobody really took Barbenheimer that seriously. There were 2 really good movies, mind you. These weren't so bad it's good movies by any stretch. But like the whole like thing was kind of we'll go to the theater for the day and make a day of it, and it'll kind of be a gag, you know? And so like I feel like this would be a good movie to also just, I'm gonna go to the theater for an afternoon, watch this with a couple friends, make it an evening, and you know, it'll be a nice gag, maybe dinner, you know?
Yeah. I felt the need to explain that a little bit better, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm too good to see like the Minecraft movie.
I don't know. I'm learning that I've got a lot of. I'm tired. I'm done waiting up on you, man. We've had so many dead silences that sputter to but no for 7 minutes that like, dude, I can't today. I've been trying to leave you gaps and I've been steamrolling you, and I just can't help it, man. But speaking of the Minecraft movie, do you have any last thoughts on that? I'm gonna pass it to you one more time. You have any last thoughts on that before we move on? Because it seemed like you were heading into something, but I don't know if you were. If not,
I don't have a lot of thoughts other than what I had already said about it's going to be a fun time, but not necessarily a good movie. So yeah, I'm good to move on from it.
And I suppose we can move on from that. I wanted to talk about more Minecraft movie stuff, but not like the movie itself.
Yeah.
So for the Minecraft movie, they released a couple new capes. This is a small like game thing. As part of the marketing, they've like done a couple capes. There's like 2 of a nether portal that are like one from the nether sides. It's all like a red and black cape. And then there's one very like vibrant, like blue and like kind of a mint green for the grass. So it still kind of matches like cape with like a portal in the middle kind of stretching out. And it's a cool cape. I like the set of capes. Then they announced a third one at Minecraft Live. This is something they announced. A Minecraft Bedrock event where you have to like log in and do daily quests themed around the movie.
Wow.
But And I was like, wow, that's really cool that they're doing this again like they did for the MCC thing. I don't know if I can be fucked to sit down and like log into Bedrock 6 times like over the course of like a 6-day period and like really sit and like do these fucking challenges if they're going to be an entire thing, you know? Depending on how much of my day this takes up, I don't know if I could be fucked just to complete the set. And that was my stance for a few days. And then today I was sitting around twiddling my thumbs because I don't have anything else to do right now because of the move. And so I was sitting at my desk, I was twiddling my thumbs, and I was like, what the fuck could I do for like an hour or two? And so I was like, oh, I'll just get the Minecraft cape. I'll go and I'll work toward that. I'll get the first day of that done. And honestly, while they're really, really, really fucking simple, all the like mini games, like the 3 mini games they have set up for that are actually pretty fun. They're not very hard, but they are pretty fun to just like do real quick as a thing. Yeah, I don't know. There's the mining one, which is like easily the most difficult, which is just like they send you down into a mine. The further in you go, like the harder mobs you'll run into. And your goal for like the first day quest is get in there and get out with 100 ores. You can do it piecemeal. You don't have to do it all at once. But if you die, you lose everything.
That's pretty cool.
You lose it all. You don't have to get 100 in one straight shot. Like I said, piecemeal. You can come, you go, you get 10, you come to the surface to log them, and then you go back down. That's what I did to get it.
Yeah.
At a certain point, just because I wanted to go ahead and grind it the fuck out, because I had a feel for the minigame at that point. And they respawn, and it just like throws you in a public server with like 8 or 9 other people also mining. And so you're like mining and fighting alongside a bunch of other people. It's very much just minigame Minecraft, that particular one. I feel like that's like everybody's had that moment with a friend before in a cave, and so it's like, you know, it's nice that like that's been like gamified into a minigame for this because it's part of the essence of the game. I feel anyway.
Yeah.
And so like it was really nice. It felt very communal to be playing these games with a bunch of other like competent Minecraft players who are here to get the cape, you know? So like there are plenty of like Java players and Bedrock players and everybody. And the first day was easily like the most shit they make you do, and it only took me like an hour at most to get it all done. So like, yeah, I highly recommend it. You only have to do it for 6 days, and the other 5 days are all play a minigame for like 5 minutes. So
yeah. That actually sounds like a really good time and a really good way that they've gotten people to like, I don't know. I haven't played Minecraft since, 2012.
I don't like start a world or nothing, but
yeah,
you know, yeah.
I want to get a feel for it before watching the movie. I think that's a really fun way to do that. Is having mini games based around like actual Minecraft things. Yeah, exactly. I think that's a fun thing.
The other 2 missions they have, I'll just go over those real quick, just because we're talking about it, and I'll run you through them. The first mission I did, and the mission that they have that earns you the most XP, not that the XP totally matters or anything, but it earns you the most XP, is the payload mission. So there's like a llama cart, and like there are like sections where piglins will spawn, and there are sections where like alternating sets of like, okay, you just fought piglins, you're about to fight a bunch of like illagers now. You're gonna fight like a pillager raid worth of like pillagers. But like it's like 3 it's like a raid's worth, but there are like 5 people defending the cart. And so it's like you can all just kind of jump them. And of course it's like payload, so you keep somebody close to the cart keeps moving. Combat starts and gets in the way, the cart stops. The game is like, you run a track. It's a pretty big track. It took me like 2 loops to notice we were going in circles, but it's a decent sized track that has like enough to look at, and there's a bunch of like hidden secret shit that you can find in it. So there's plenty to do while you're just like slow pushing the cart. But yeah, no, that one's a lot of fun. That one's like very just on foot combat, just fucking around.
That's interesting.
And then the third one is defending the village walls.
The mining one.
Yeah, it's less interesting than the mining one. I think the mining one's the most interesting of all of them. And I think the wall one is the least interesting. It's a sort of a tower defense thing. It's like balloons, but you are the monkeys. You're just like on turrets on a tower, and you're just sitting there with bows shooting at piglins before they make it to the village walls. And there's also like
kind of boring.
There's also like there's also iron golems on the field. There's 3 stationary iron golems on the field that'll also fight, but they take damage, and if all 3 of them are defeated, the piglins will stop targeting them and start targeting the actual like village gate. So it's like a staged, tiered thing.
Okay.
And it's a decent amount of fun. It gets pretty like tight every now and again, but again, it's very, very fucking simple. So it's not like terribly like intensive because it's like a Minecraft like throwaway. This will be around for 2 weeks event game, you know.
Yeah.
But it's still good fun for what it is, and there's like I found out at the very end there are like you could spend your XP points on like upgrades so that you can do the quests faster. Like you can get a better pickaxe that mines better, you can get a better sword that hits harder, a bow with like better range and that also hits harder. And then you could also there's upgrades that make them just like base stats better, and then there's like on top of that there's like enchantment upgrades, which I don't know how you do. But like you can also get like flame on your bow or like strength on your like fucking sword or whatever, or like efficiency on your pickaxe, that kind of thing. It's a really cool thing. I kind of dogged on it for a few days. Like after they announced it, because I was just kind of like, God damn it, I gotta put in work to get the cape. I don't know if I could be asked to do that, you know. But like, no, it turns out I could be because I have all the fucking time in the world right now, and I figured I'd be disappointed if I had the opportunity to complete the set and I just chose not to. When it's like one cape I'm missing out on, it's a lot easier to say fuck it, but when it's a third of like a 3 cape set and I already have the other 2, I'm a little more inclined to go, you know?
Yeah. Let me double check something, because while I was doing it today, or rather while I was getting the hostile cape, I think it's called, the nether version of the portal cape.
Is that the TikTok?
It seems like it's the TikTok one.
Right.
I had looked it up, and it looks like there's one more Yearn cape. Is that the one you're talking about, or are you talking about the one
with like the mine entrance on it? Yeah, that's how you earn that.
That's interesting, because I had also seen one that somebody on TikTok was talking about that looked like a simplified dirt block, and he was like, you'll see like we've seen this design come out at some point. So we'll see how you get that. So maybe that'll come out with the Minecraft movie. Maybe like if you put in your ticket from some sort of software, it'll give it to you.
I bet the Minecraft movie will have a 4th cape. Hopefully that doesn't have a Jack Black Elytra. I have no doubt about it that there's going to be like a really cool cape design like ready for the movie. There's no way they don't do that as like a scan the code on your ticket and you'll like fucking get one, you know. Like they just give you a voucher for it or something, or maybe it's like an add-on at the theater. I don't know, but I want to get the good seats. I want to get like the best seats we can in like an IMAX theater. I want to make a whole thing of it, you know, just because we're going to go see the goddamn Minecraft movie. And the way I figure it, right, and the reason I'm willing to make this such a spectacle, despite Jack Black being Jack Black as of recent, with his like, because he's kind of leaning on the wrong side of some like a couple of issues that we have that don't warrant like going into on the show right now. We've talked about our beliefs in the past, but despite Jack Black being Jack Black, I want to go see this movie anyway. I've heard like minimal rumblings from people about like, oh, if you go see this movie, you're a fucking bad person because it stars a Zionist, you know. We should be boycotting this movie. And here's my thought, right? And I'm totally willing to eat crow on this ideology. Maybe I just haven't thought about it enough. But Jack Black is going to be a billionaire until the day he dies, even if he never like takes another step onto a movie set. Why should giving him a percentage of my $7 movie ticket prevent me, a regular Joe, from enjoying a product from the group that is from like a group of people that has given me some of the best memories in my life in video games? Like, I owe Mojang that money practically. The $30 that I paid for this game 10 years ago, $30 that my grandma paid for this game like 14, 15 years ago now. It is not enough. I owe them hundreds at this point in terms of actual worth of value I've gotten out of this game, and I will gladly give it to them even if it means just a little bit goes to him. Sticking it to the man means nothing. It hurts nobody but you in cases like this. You really need to analyze your activism, all right? That's all I'm saying is like, activism is good, and you should strive to make change where you can. But in situations like this that are so fucking trivial, honestly, as like Jack Black, the guy who has millions and will continue to have millions no matter what, will get like 2 cents on the dollar for my fucking movie ticket. Why do I care? Why should I give a shit? You know?
Yeah,
I honestly, with things like this, I just can't make it happen. Anyway, you want to elaborate? You want to talk about your thoughts?
Organized. A lot of these boycotts that have happened in the past have a lot of times I've realized have just been people on Twitter saying they're going to do it, and then a lot of times they go back on it themselves, or they don't get enough people. It's not organized enough to fucking matter. So it's just like all you're doing is saying, no, I'm not going to go to the theater and watch the Minecraft movie on my own. And that's not to say that activism and boycotts don't do anything. It's just
voting with your wallet absolutely works. Voting with your wallet absolutely works. If I was against Mojang, I wouldn't go see the movie because they're getting a much larger cut of this. If I were against Warner Brothers, which I kind of am a little bit for a couple things, fuck them, but like not reprehensibly against them to the point where I need to boycott against them. I just like my Looney Tunes, man. But the thing about it is that if I were against Warner Brothers or like the production company that made the props or something, then I would boycott the movie. But again, Jack Black has all that money, and he will continue having all that money, and whether this movie fails or not will mean nothing to the fucking money he was already paid anyway. So and this number, and again, this movie is, that's another thing, is this is the Minecraft movie. You mean to tell me you want me to you want me to boycott a movie that will be the #1 movie in the world for a weekend, multiple weekends? I predict this movie has a 6-week theater run. I predict about 6 weeks. I think it'll run for 6 weeks and it'll be the #1 movie in America for 4 of them. And by that metric, like that's just based on, I don't feel like that's an exaggeration. I don't feel like that's much to say about it. Like, that's a major success for a film, but I don't feel like there's much to say of a film based on the most popular video game ever. The single most best-selling game of all time. Like, there is, like... Yeah. There's no competing with that in the film market. There's nothing else that could possibly come out that weekend or any of the following weekends between now and the end of next month that will possibly come out to stomp this. And maybe I'm wrong. I think me seeing it on opening weekend, me not seeing it on opening weekend, and my husband not seeing it, and Jed not seeing it as well, all 3 of us saving our like $7 or $8 that we would spend at the local theater, and then our like $10 worth of snacks each. That like $60-ish is gonna make a drop in the bucket on the amount of money that this movie will make. So I have zero qualm. I have zero qualm going to see this movie. Like, in terms of, like, morally, anyhow.
Yeah, I think, honestly, it's either going to have a really long run, like you said, or it's going to have, like, a week where, like, the weekend is packed, and then there's, like, fuck all, and then they pull it because people didn't like it. But I think you're right, where it's definitely going to be... People are going to watch it
like
because
it enough, even movie. For it to be in, like, to not get pulled. Like, I don't think it'll get pulled in its first, like, couple weeks for sure, just because I think that enough parents will, like, plan to see it with their kids next weekend instead, you know? That I think it'll be fine. Like, this movie's a shoo-in for at least a 3-week run. Minimum. Mm-hmm. Like, it's going to have 3 weekends for sure to get a bunch of money up. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if we start having, like, a conversation about this being one of the, like, top 10 most grossing theater, like, runs ever, just because we've had, not because of Minecraft necessarily, but that combined with the fact that we've had a lot of people really excited to go to the theater, and thus pretty much every major movie has broken some sales record somewhere, you know? Like, every culturally significant film in the past decade has ended up on that top 10 list. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Minecraft there too. Hell, we almost got Morbius on that top 10 for the gag. Yeah. Like, as a collective internet culture. So I don't doubt that this movie will be there, considering, you know, everything that it has going for it, you know?
Minecraft, if I remember correctly, is the best-selling video game ever
It might be beat out by like Tetris, but that Tetris has like a 40-year lead and like 80 more different varied versions of the game. So I struggle to count it.
Singular game. Minecraft has bought the most copies. If even an eighth of the people who have purchased Minecraft, the video game, goes and sees it, it will be a box office success. And like,
absolutely.
I think most people will probably see it at some point in time, or at least be like well aware of it enough that they like push the movie on their own just by talking about it with their friends, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think this thing has already got a shitload of momentum, this film. Like, the marketing for it has been all over the place to such a degree that like you would have to really like try. If you were at all interested, like even like 1%, like even like I'm like a grandparent and my grandchild likes Minecraft. You would have to like, that person would still have to really try to not know this movie is coming out. If you at all like video games or have like watched any like sporting or major like televised event, there's been an ad for it. I think they put an ad for it on the fucking Super Bowl at some point, if I remember correctly. Like, this thing is everywhere. It's genuinely like, they're putting up Jack Black standees in the grocery store. They're selling Jack Black action figures to kids in the aisle, which is so fucking funny. But there's so much going on with this thing in terms of marketing that I feel like it is just too big to fail. And that's a pretty, like, damning, jinxing statement for me to say. But I feel like it's too, like, this thing is just simply too big to fail. Maybe it's not too big.
To fail,
Maybe it's not too big to fail by the standard we're setting it to. Like, maybe my expectation that, like, hell, it might run longer than 6 weeks. Hell, it might be the top grossing movie ever, you know? And, like, you know, for the top grossing video game, that's not a terribly large success afterward. I mean, it is a large success in that you've broken into another market, but like, it's based on the top selling video game. Everybody thought it was going to do well. If we move the bar to accommodate that, it's not too big to fail. But the trouble is there is no moving the bar. It's already way in the fucking sky for this movie. Like, this movie's like well past any bar we can set for it, and the movie's not even fucking out yet. In terms of like how it will perform financially, at least. The actual content of the movie yet to be seen. I don't think it'll be. I definitely don't think it will deserve, like, in terms of like the movie on its own merit. I don't think it will deserve to be the #1 top grossing movie ever of all time. But I think it might pull it for like a little bit. I think it has potentially pull that out. Like, that's a non-zero that happens. But no, speaking of this thing being all over the place and the marketing being all over the place, I want to talk about the Minecraft Kids Meal and the Minecraft Adults Meal they're doing at McDonald's in tandem with the release of this movie. You know why I want to talk about it? Because look at these McDonald Land characters that they've designed to fit the Minecraft aesthetic. Like, it's so weird that, like, the McDonald's toys based on the movie are more faithful to the art style of the game than the movie is. Right?
That's really bizarre. Strange. But then, like, all of the things straight from the movie. That sheep is fucking disgusting. What the hell is that thing?
And then the only thing, they have this pretty on point. I like the boxes for the adult meal and the kids meal. I think they're both cute little boxes. I like all the like collectible toys. I think.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own kind of autism, and I don't mean to be messy when I say this, but I think it's kind of cringeworthy to be, like, going out and ensuring I get all the new McDonald's Minecraft collectible adults for sure this time, definitely not a kid's meal toy in different packaging things, so that I can put them on my shelf and look at them, because they bring me joy that way. And it's like, yeah, no, that's perfectly acceptable. Man, do I never want to be that guy in particular. I don't want to be a McDonald's toy. Like, I don't want to be like, no, they're not the McDonald's toy, like, kids meal toys. This is a McDonald's adult collectible figure, you know? Based on a children's video game, you know? Which I hate calling, I like calling Minecraft a children's block game in passing and in jest, because it's such a funny way to refer to it in moments where it's like, because, like, I could say, I've been spending all my time building, like we've been spending all of our time for the last, like, 6 months building a massive like hyper efficient industrial tower in Minecraft. But then we could also say, in lieu of getting a job, the two of us have spent the last 6 months nonstop playing a fucking children's block game on the internet.
Yeah.
Which is just an insanely way more funny way to put that, in my opinion. It's a little demeaning, but that's what makes it funny. But this McDonald's meal, Jesus Christ, what a meal. It's like a 4-piece and a Big Mac, and like they've got like a custom nether sauce that I'm excited to try that. I'm certain it's probably just going to be
try it.
Like regular McDonald's hot sauce with a little bit of tang. I think that's about all we're going to get out of it, which is usually what we get for these with different branding on it, but maybe it'll be something new. Either way, they don't usually stock like hot sauces, so it'll be interesting to have a McDonald's hot sauce anyway. Still kind of an event. And then fries, and then like a large drink too, like a large fry and then a large drink. I suppose those, like, you don't have to get the large, but I'm not gonna not get the large.
It says medium drink in the bottom. I can't believe you.
Oh, does it say medium drink? Oh, I guess it's a medium then.
It says medium drink right in front of your mouth.
Good God. I'm staring directly at medium drink. Jesus Christ. Oh man, it's right under my nose the whole time, literally.
Yeah. But
it's 10-piece McNuggets or the Big Mac. So I might,
Okay. That's less interesting.
I thought it was a 4-piece and a Big Mac. Because they did that a few months ago for like one of their like collab meals, or I think it was like a year or two ago now, where they were like, oh yeah, you can get a double quarter pounder, large fry, and a 4-piece McNugget, with the objective being that you take the bun off, you put the 4 McNuggets on top of the like sandwich, and then you make it part of the sandwich and you eat it that way. And I did do that, and it's fucking exquisite. It's really good.
It's dry.
But it is a little bit dry. You do need a fucking beverage for that. Thank God I got a large, so I was sucking it down doing that. But it is a good like flavor and texture thing. I do enjoy that. But this collaboration, I thought it was just like a really interesting one. I thought it was like a really neat. Sorry if I don't sound like fucking impassioned as much about any of this shit. Most of this stuff is stuff I knew about like a week or more ago, and so it's all stuff that like all the like raw excitement has like simmered, or like boiled down to a simmer for me now, where I'm still definitely excited about it, but it's not as new anymore. But these boxes are cool. The items you get in them are interesting. The only like faux pas I feel they made in making this was some of its Minecraft movie stuff and some of its Minecraft stuff, and it's a weird mix and match. So like that's my only key problem. But I think the difference is like the kids meal has the Minecraft movie themed toys in it, and then the adult meal has the Minecraft themed stuff in it for like the older people who like don't care for how the Minecraft movie looks. So
I think that this is kind of a tangent. I think that McDonald's toy collectors are some of the most intriguing people ever, because McDonald's toys are the worst.
I'll go down that rabbit hole sometimes. Like usually they're like fast food toy collectors. Like they'll do McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's and like all these other ones. And so like they'll have a bunch of shit from like a bunch of different franchises, and like usually the other franchises that aren't McDonald's, because McDonald's started doing it first, and so like they got to kind of get away with it being a bit shit, and still be like, McDonald's has toys in the meal. That's a selling point, even though Burger King does too, you know, and they're better toys, but it's a worse meal because you're at fucking Burger King. I actually don't have that much of a problem with like a double cheeseburger from Burger King, but like the Whopper is kind of ass. I used to like it. It's just a mess of mayonnaise, dude. Get that shit out of here. The Whopper sucks. The fries are bad. Actually, I kind of liked Burger King fries. They're a good like thick, almost steak fry, but like sometimes they're stale and cold, man. I don't know. I don't like Burger King nearly as much these days. I don't know what it is. They've really like fallen hard on me these past like 6 years. Oh man, I used to really like Burger King though. I don't know what the fuck happened to me, because Burger King had like this Big King box thing that you could get, and this is the last fast food thing I'll talk about before we get to it. This thing was spectacular. For like I think it was like $10.99, maybe $11.99. You would get a Whopper. I think it was like a double Whopper even. You would get nuggets, you would get fries, a drink, and 2 chocolate chip cookies for $11. $12, but still. That's like only like $1 or $2 more than the regular, like, that is only $1 or $2 more than the medium single Whopper meal, and you get a double Whopper and 2 cookies, and everything gets to be large, you know? So, like, why the hell not, other than, like, the cholesterol, you know? But, yeah, no, Burger King good, McDonald's collaborate, or Burger King bad, McDonald's collaboration good. That's all I have to say about that, I feel. You got any closing thoughts about fast food toys and or Minecraft themed fast food toys?
The Shrek watch that came out was the best singular piece of merchandise to ever come out.
What do you mean? Is that a real quote you're reading from somewhere, or is that like you just fucking around?
No! I just thought about the Shrek watch again and how that was like, you know, have you seen it? It is a dog shit toy.
I've seen the fucking thing. But speaking of all right McDonald's toy lines, you know what McDonald's toy line sticks out to me distinctly? The Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs McDonald's toy line. I have no idea what it was about those. Those just like stuck out to me weirdly. Like when I think about McDonald's toys, I think about I know why. It's because it was after tax season and we were like broke bitch ballin', so we were eating McDonald's every night. So I collected most of that set as a kid, and I thought that was really cool.
I see.
We were getting McDonald's every week, and like each week they rotate out the toy that's in the bag, and so like I managed to beg and plead and hold everybody off till the next week, like the next Thursday when the toys would get cycled at the fucking McDonald's. Which I figured out as a kid from a different time that we were broke bitch balling and ate there like every day of the week. And you know, but like this particular time I had just gotten most of those. They stopped doing the fucking buckets at Halloween, dude. That's sad.
Yeah, I know.
Their Halloween stuff used to be banging as hell as a kid. That's the other thing that I remember is like not only like did you get like a bucket with it. Like, nobody went trick-or-treating with those buckets if they had any other option. No. There were little-ass buckets. But the option was there, and it was nice. It was a nice thought, you know?
You got nice to get like a hard to decorate it,
keepable thing. And you got stickers to decorate it, yeah. And you would, like, do that, like, in the car post-meal, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, and they would have nicer, like, little figures in there. They would have, like, slightly higher quality than usual shit.
I remember there was
like,
one year where they had,
like...
I can't. Are they Beanie Babies? I don't think they're Beanie Babies, but there's something where they have.
But they did sell like little Beanie Baby-esque like plushes in those for 1 year. I do remember that because they were all like themed little Halloween plushes. It was a whole thing. And then there was 1 year where like the gimmick was like all the Halloween stuff this year is glow in the dark. Like the stickers on the bucket are glow in the dark. The buckets glow in the dark. The toys are glow in the dark. The foods glow. But like there was 1 year where they did that. They like fucking showed out in the 2000s for fucking that kind of thing, and they still show out today. McDonald's knows how to crank out a good like event meal, you know. I think they're probably the best to do it in that case, you know, when it comes to that kind of stuff.
They do a pretty good job.
They do a pretty damn good job of making me like, yeah, I should go get the fucking, because like they did a really good job with the Grimace Shake. Granted, people kind of did the marketing for them on that one with that fucked up Grimace Shake trend that was going on at the time. But like, they did a good job with that. The McRib is a veritable success story that they do like every year because they like somehow they like Men in Black everybody but me's brains and then try to fool everybody into thinking this is the first time the McRib is back since 2012 when it was back 3 months ago. You know? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Have you seen that they fucking do that?
I have.
It happened to me like a few
They're
years
like,
ago.
the McRib is back.
It happened to me a few years ago and it worked because I wasn't really that into McDonald's at the time in terms of like I didn't eat at McDonald's often, so I didn't know how often they had it back. And they did trick me because I was with a friend. I think I was with Basil, even my husband, early in our relationship. And I was like, yeah, let's eat a McRib. I don't think I've ever had a McRib. We'll sit down and have a McRib. And they were like, oh man. I was like, man, it's been forever since the McRib's been back. I'm surprised people aren't like fiending for it. And they go, Or no, it's only been a few months since the McRib was back, I think. So it's weird that people are fiending for it. It was just here last year, you know? And then Basil goes, no, it hasn't been around since 2012. And then I look at the sign outside and it says the McRib back for the first time since 2012. And
that's insane.
I'm like, damn, I could have sworn that I saw my uncle like eating a McRib not even like 3-4 months ago. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I guess it was like a regular sandwich and I was just mistaken. But it was in like a McDonald's wrapper, I thought. So, oh well. You know, and I just put it out of my mind until the McRib came back again 6 months later and they did the same shit. And I had like a moment where I was like, I fucking knew it.
It has to be illegal, right?
That kind of marketing, it's like skirting the line. You're not allowed to directly lie in your marketing, and that is a direct lie in their marketing. But like, the thing about it is that like it's such a small white lie that nobody's gonna call them on it. Like no law enforcement, like no like judge is gonna sit down and go, all right, this fuckery has to end. You just like said it hasn't been back since 2012 and I had a McRib last week. Come on.
Fucking order in the court. I had a McRib 2 months ago and here you say it was not back for a decade. To prison.
Your Honor, the defense claims that my client lied about bringing the McRib back. They lied about bringing the McRib back. Or no. I am the defense in this case. The other guys, the guilty one, over there, that fucker, Your Honor, claims the McRib has not been back since the year 2012. And I ask you how, Your Honor, how under my coat jacket, Exhibit 17B. The barbecue McRib sauce stain on my shirt that has been there for only like a month and still is. How could this stain look this fresh if the McRib has not been back in a decade? Why would I still wear this shirt if it had a stain on it for a decade? He's just like leaning in on this stain as like a line of evidence questioning.
When like dude, you can tell, like you could get literally receipts of the McRib being sold. Like previously,
I probably have a McRib receipt from that day laying somewhere because I hate to like I struggle to throw receipts out sometimes because sometimes they have coupons on them and I put them in my wallet and they sit there until the coupon expires and then I go through them like once every 6 months and I go, man, I didn't use any of these coupons or enter any of these like survey giveaways they were trying to get me to enter. Let me throw all this shit out. I don't need all this in my wallet.
Yeah.
It's all expired anyway. And then I start anew.
You carry a wallet now. We've talked about this on the show.
Oh, yeah, this is an update for the audience. I haven't talked about the fact that I carry a wallet now on the show. I've changed to a wallet, man, because everybody in my life bitched at me so hard about it to the point where I couldn't get through one day out without hearing, I need a wallet. Like, without, like, somebody mentioning to me, like, I could not talk about going to the grocery store even without somebody bringing up that I don't have a wallet and, like, clowning me for it. To the point where I finally caved and I bought a wallet, and frankly, it's made my life so much more harder. Oh, there you are. You've been, like, disappearing and reappearing.
It's been
like
doing
a ghost trick. I don't know.
I think, the software we use has been, like...
Yeah.
Yeah,
so, like, this week
I think it's just
back.
going the way of the shitter.
I don't think so.
Which is
it
good,
used to do this too. It used to do this too. But,
did it used to do this?
Yeah, it used to do this
That's
occasionally.
Real bizarre.
Not this bad. This is a particularly bad day with it. But hey, it was down last week, so they're probably like fixing some shit. I don't know, man. But we're talking about like McDonald's and fast food and shit and wallets. We should be talking about Minecraft, dude. We got Minecraft to talk about. What else about Minecraft? So in this update, also something I didn't mention. There's a Bedrock specific thing where this update they have super flat presets now. I didn't realize they didn't have that. Speaking to Bedrock being like the lazier, worse version of the game, now they have the option to make custom super flats, which is great. That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, no, you used to have to do like commands to make like a redstone super flat. But yeah,
like that's been a feature in Java Edition since like just about since the game got its full like 1.0 release.
Yeah,
so it's crazy.
I remember
that
you used to have to do
long.
some like fucked up shit where it's like you start a regular world and you set it to custom instead of super flat, and then you like just adjust the sliders until you get to how the super flat you want. And it was such horseshit. I can't believe it took them this long to add it.
You couldn't even like up until they started calling it Bedrock Edition instead of Pocket and Windows Edition. You couldn't generate a super flat even. Like just a normal bog standard flat super flat. That was not an option in this version of the game for like a weirdly long amount of time. And then they added it. And at that point I was still keeping up with Bedrock news because I have a lot of love in my heart for the old Pocket Edition pre-Bedrock. And, you know, it suffered from a lot of the same bugs and problems, but it had a lot more heart, I feel. But I digress. It was like I was keeping up with it at that point, so I knew like the state of updates and how long it was taking for shit to come. Like now that I don't follow news on that side of Minecraft, it's so crazy to hear that like, what the fuck do you mean they got custom super flat worlds now? Why? Yeah. Why now? Why did that take this long? And why did they decide to do it now? You know?
Yeah, like, I'm glad they did. But I'm glad that it's in there. Yeah.
No, yeah, absolutely. I'm glad. I'm absolutely glad it's in there. You got any thoughts on it?
No,
other than fucking fantastic. What other Bedrock features? Yeah, what other Bedrock features are they missing?
Fix the like horseshit ass piston system, dude. Fuck the UI. Pistons in.
That's my main problem with that game. The UI is way too goddamn big. Is way too goddamn big. Mirror the Java UI, and I will play that version more often. You have my word.
Yeah.
Mirror the Java UI, and I will play that version of the game.
I used to play nothing but Bedrock because, you know, I was a console player, and then I was playing a lot of Minecraft around the time that I switched from console to PC, which was fantastic because I got to still play video games with my friends while I switched over to my PC. And that was really nice. That I have a lot of nice memories with Bedrock. However, I also remember all of the just like horse shit that we would do in it. Like trident pushers. Do you know what a trident pusher is?
You've explained the trident pusher to me before. It is a ridiculously weird machine. Can I run you through the process of like playing multiplayer on Pocket Edition before they added the option to do anything other than LAN play? Are you aware of this process?
I think I remember it. When I was a wee lad on
the Apple side of things, on the iPod Touch 4th generation. What you would have to do to get this to happen, right, is you would have to go to your app store and download a different game called Minecraft with Friends or some shit that like handled all the networking for you in the background, and then it would go. Like it had like a TeamSpeak system where you would have voice chat too, and that would work. But because it was connected to like a TeamSpeak call, you would get like a connected very loud in your ear every single time, and there was no way to turn just an app down at that point. So you just kind of had to live with it. And so like I have a lot of really fond memories. Like a lot of my classic Minecraft memories are playing on a very small screen in bed as a child after school. You know, with like 3 or 4 like complete randoms in like a voice call.
Yeah.
Complete randoms my own age, mind you, because who else other than like kids age like 11 to 14 is gonna fucking bother to go that far to play multiplayer Minecraft, you know?
Yeah.
Like, who on earth would even do that at that point, you know? And so it's like it's such like a process. So I am aware that like both in and out of the game, there's so much jank associated with just emulating a Java feature on the Bedrock side of things. And I feel like you guys make up for it with little pot shots. I say you guys because you've kind of like taken the Bedrock stance. You have a lot more of like a more of a history when it was called Bedrock. And so like I feel that like things like I feel like you guys get us back in like pot shots. With like, oh, but our version of the game has like undyeable leather armor by just like dipping it and dyeable cauldrons, you know, which we have that now too. But we don't dyeable cauldron water. That's still not a thing we have.
Yeah,
we can't dye into a cauldron. I wish we had it. Yeah, there's a lot of little weird stuff like that. It's like there's no reason. I'm pretty sure the only reason the dyeable thing isn't in Java is just because nobody told the Java devs that was in Bedrock yet. Like that seems like a day job to me. That does not seem like a lot of work. But who am I to say? I don't know. There's probably a reason why stuff like that hasn't come. But I would wager to guess that they're genuinely just probably oblivious of that feature on the actual like development side. Because again, that is just one of the things that happens when you have a game, two different versions of a game being developed by two completely different teams on two different ends of the world, dude. That's just what's bound to happen.
Yeah.
You know? Oh man, I'm hitting these really long streaks and forgetting to breathe, and so like I'm running out of breath over here because I'm just like I'm focused on talking so heavily that I'm not really stopping to take my breaths. But yeah, no, it's just a consequence of how that works. Just a consequence of how that works, and that's fine. It's those I don't mind, but I do feel like those are like. There's so many nice little, like, on top of the, my hardcore Bedrock world ended because it said I died to a skeleton when I was alone in a 2x2 area completely away from every skeleton on the map. You know?
Right.
Like, they make up for that with, fuck, I wish I could undye my armor and re-dye it and, like, shit like that, dude. Come on. Did they ever figure that out?
I don't know if it's... No, I don't know if they ever did this. But you used to not be able to play a hardcore world at all.
Yeah, no, that's brand new. That's brand new. They just did that
on
too.
Bedrock. That's great. That's great. I'm glad they finally fucking added that.
Unfortunately,
that was such a dumbass
and
non-parody feature.
Mode. It was called fucking hardcore mode. Is it so much to expect that, like, everybody makes mistakes sometimes, but is it so much to expect that a team working on, like, granted, like, working on what is like the more played at this point version of the game, just because it's on every goddamn device on the planet. Like, is it acceptable to say that that's the more popular version because that's the version that gets played more because it's the more readily accessible? Like, I think that's a fine thing to say. Like, it's not a lot to ask of the team working on the most popular version of the best-selling game of all time to spell check, you know?
Yeah.
Before they hit post on the fucking update and send it out to the world, you know? I don't know. Way, though. You don't know?
Do you know of the, like, early Xbox One politics of playing Minecraft with your friends? Did you ever experience that? I think you were out of, like, Xbox One era by that point.
I was there at 360 era. I never owned a 360, but I had a friend who did. I had a couple of friends who did, and it was really exciting. Did I tell you about that guy I knew in middle school who, no shit, told me days ahead? He was like, yeah, my mom, I'm not going to be here all day on Wednesday. My mom's coming to pick me up because we're getting an Xbox One, like, tonight. We're going on launch day. Like, they're dropping them at, like, noon. They did the midnight release, but, like, if you didn't have a pre-order at our local GameStop for some reason, I don't know, you just, like, you weren't getting one that night. There was no shot. There just weren't enough of them.
Yeah.
You know? And they were supposed to get a restock that morning. Like, they had already planned, they'd already, like, had a restock ready to go for the next day after the midnight release, because they knew there wouldn't be enough. And so this kid was like, he was like telling me, I was like, yeah, sure, fucking whatever. Your mom is going to check you out of school to go buy an Xbox One and let you have the rest of the day to go play it. Yeah, sure, instead of, like, doing your goddamn schoolwork and taking you after. No, that does not happen, Jed, to the less privileged.
Oh, really?
Yes, no. Dude, that's not a thing that happens. We can get into this later. This is another Jed's not beating the rich man allegation.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there are parents who are just that lax about things, who will just like, yeah, fuck it. I'll check you out of school to play Xbox, sure.
That's the thing.
My mom,
and like his mom was like that. His mom was like that, is the thing. And I'd never been to this guy's house but more than once or twice, and we played Xbox at a different friend's house all the time. And so I was like, I was like, cool, you mind if I come over this weekend? We'll fucking hit some COD or something. The new COD Ghost just came out. I'm sure it's fucking great. It wasn't. But like, and he was like, yeah, no, you can come over. You can come over and play this weekend. Sure, fuck it, why not? And so we did that, and I come over, and I'm like, all right, fuck. And Minecraft was one of the games that we like had in our rotation as a 360 game. But if you'll remember, the Xbox One had 0 backwards compatibility at launch with the 360.
Yep.
And so we finished playing Ghosts, because why the fuck would you play Call of Duty Ghosts for more than like an hour or two before going, this shit sucks, turn it off?
Yeah.
And so we said, this shit sucks, turn it off. And we were like, still wanting to play Xbox because it was like the thing we were here to do, you know? And so we were like, what?
Yeah.
That's the only game I really bought with it, dude, because I thought it was going to be really like a banger. And it just wasn't. But he had all reason to think that the 360 era of fucking COD games were all bangers back to back. I would have bought Ghosts no question asked anyway too, without knowing that it sucked. But like, we sat down and we were sitting there and we were like, fucking Minecraft, why not? And then we sat down and we put the disc in. I was like, maybe it'll work, maybe. And we put it in, did not work. And even gave us like a special little like, hey, this game will be coming to Xbox One. It's not here yet, but it's coming, we swear. Like, it genuinely, that's how big Minecraft 360 was, that when you put the 360 disc into an Xbox One before it had backwards compatibility, it would play a trailer. It would pull a trailer for you that wasn't even a trailer for the game. It was two people. I remember like, two people, a man and a woman. Don't ask me who, and don't ask me for like what like gaming news outlet they were for. I think they might have been for fucking Game Informer even. And it was just like a little video of them talking about how like, 4J Studios is working on the new version of Minecraft for the Xbox One, and it'll be out in a couple months, and that'll be great. And it'll have infinite worlds. They didn't quite deliver on that at first, but they did eventually.
Yeah.
But they said it would have like. They said it would have near infinite worlds, and what they meant was it would be like 9 360 worlds big, basically. And it was. It was, and that was a fine size for that to be, but it was not damn near infinite, like they promised.